The Pittsburgh Steelers will be featured on Hard Knocks. So, the Steelers and the rest of the AFC North division, alongside the Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, and Cleveland Browns, will be featured on the in-season version of Hard Knocks. And the NFL and HBO, the program, announced it just today. So, for the first time, the in-season version of the show Hard Knocks will be focusing not just on one specific team, but an entire division. And that division is the AFC North. And the reason behind it is probably because it's always an ultra competitive division and it always goes down to the wire in terms of the last few games. And it's always a close-knit conference division. So with that being said, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates, and also like the video. Now, let's get right back into it. Just in case if you don't know what Hard Knocks is, Hard Knocks has been airing on HBO and Max since 2001, and it traditionally covers a team's journey through training camp, using all access, behind the scenes footage, and exclusive reality TV style interviews done. And starting in the 2021 season, an in-season version of the show has also started to been produced. So, the Indianapolis Colts, the Arizona Cardinals, and Miami Dolphins were the in-season Hard Knocks teams over the last 3 seasons. But this year saw an off-season version of the show for the first time featuring the New York Giants. The Chicago Bears will appear in the training camp version of this show come fall time, but this is the first time that the Steelers are going to be participating in Hard Knocks. They probably didn't have a choice. The NFL and HBO probably forced them based off some contract that they have, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, for the first time in their team's history, will be featuring on the show, and it will be an in-season version alongside their AFC division rivals. So, with the 2023 playoff appearance by the Pittsburgh Steelers, they avoided being eligible for Hard Knocks, but they won't fully escape the NFL films and cameras this season because of the new show that's launching with the division. They actually avoided you have to make the playoffs in the last 2 seasons to be able to avoid Hard Knocks. But I guess now the rules change with this in-season version of the show, so the Pittsburgh Steelers could not escape it any longer. The rules actually changed before the 2024 season. The NFL allowed teams that had playoff appearances over the last 2 seasons to refuse to participate in Hard Knocks, which is a major reason the Steelers have never done so and never participated. But those rules were amended this spring so that the league can force each team to participate once every 8 seasons. The rules were changed after some continuous battles over the last few years, with few teams wanting to volunteer to take part in the show. So now the NFL has forced the Steelers alongside the division of the AFC North. So, looking at this, the reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers alongside the division was picked, according to the president of Hard Knocks, this is his quote. Last season, the AFC North became the first division ever to have all 4 teams finish with a winning record, making it the perfect place to launch this new approach to Hard Knocks. We thank the Bengals, Browns, Ravens, and Steelers for the opportunity to showcase some of the greatest rivalries in football and present the intensity of a playoff chase from all 4 corners of this incredibly competitive division. End quote. So, looking at the episodes of the show, it will air on HBO on Tuesdays starting at December 3rd at 9 p.m. and also continuing through the NFL postseason. It will be also available on streaming through Max. So you look at the Hard Knocks and the Pittsburgh Steelers, it will basically start from the start of the season to the end of the postseason. And it will look at the journey of each team through their struggles, through their ups and downs, and you get an inside look at practices, get an inside look on how the team does stuff. And now we get to view Mike Tomlin in a closer lens and see exactly why he's such a great coach and exactly how he runs his program. To be honest, from an outside point looking in, outside view as a fan of the team, whatever team you're a fan of, Pittsburgh or whatever team's featured on it, it's actually a good experience because you get to view your team in a closer lens. You get to see what they're all about, see what they're doing in practice, see what they're doing in training, see how their teams run, get more interviews done, get more kind of availability to your team, your favorite team, to see how things work inside their program. But looking from an inside point of view, it's probably very bad for the players, for the coaches, because there's always cameras around. Everything you do now, you have to know that there's a camera on you basically almost at all times with microphones as well. So from an outside point of view, it's an inside closer look to your team, but from the team perspective, it's probably going to be a nagging thing for them. But looking at another quote done by the vice president of HBO, this is what they said. "We are ecstatic to expand the Hard Knocks universe with our partners at NFL Films to always thrilling AFC North division race. What a year it'll be, HBO and Max, for football fans everywhere." End quote. So, if the Hard Knocks and the Pittsburgh Steelers appeared on back in the 2019, back in 2018, 2017 season with the Le'Veon Bell situation, with the Antonio Brown situation, it might have been better for the fan perspective to see what really happened. So now, a few years later, 5+ years later, the Steelers appearing on HBO, it may not be as interesting as Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, Ben Roethlisberger situation in Pittsburgh, where all the drama was happening with contract situations, with holdouts, and things like that. It would have been interesting to get an inside look at that. We never got to see what actually happened from inside perspective, but now this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, just in case if anything does happen with this team, you get to see an inside look on HBO for Hard Knocks. So the Pittsburgh Steelers will appear on the show, and it's going to be a fun perspective just looking at this team in general, because you get to see Russell Wilson come in for the first time being a Pittsburgh Steeler. Get to see what he's going through as a quarterback and to see the difference between him and Kenny Pickett. And then you also get to see Justin Fields come in. You get to see Justin Fields and see if he could be the future of this franchise behind the scenes. See what they're doing behind the scenes. You get to see what Mike Tomlin is doing behind the scenes and how he coaches his team and things of that nature and what makes him such a great coach. And then you get to see the defense. You get to see defense player of the year, TJ Watt, behind the scenes. See what the work he puts in to become a great player. You get to see him compared to Myles Garrett as well, because Myles Garrett will be featured on the show as well. So you get to see all of that. You also get to see all the new players behind the scenes for the Steelers. You get to see how the offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, is doing his business and what makes him different from other coordinators around the league. And you just get to compare teams. You get to compare your team to the next team and to see how your favorite team is run compared to others. So it should be a great kind of viewing to see the Pittsburgh Steelers on Hard Knocks for the first time. And as a fan, it should be really good. And like I said, as a player, coach, and from the team, may not be good for them. But anyway, the Steelers, they have no choice. They will be appearing on Hard Knocks this NFL season, and it'll continue all the way to the postseason for an in-season version of the AFC North division. But with that being said, let's end this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about this kind of them being forced to do it. Do you like the opportunity of the Steelers appearing on the show, or do you rather them not? Would you rather watch the show and get all the inside information, or would you rather them just play football on Sundays and that's it? And if you are looking forward to it, which player, which person are you most looking forward to see their journey for the team? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates, and also everything in between, from highlights and analysis throughout the offseason, the preseason, the regular season, back to the offseason. Training camp's right around the corner. I'll get all the highlights analysis on that. So I've covered all. I'll continue to cover all. But with that being said, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys all later. Until the next video, I'm out. Peace.